First and foremost, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. We finally made it. Turkey Day, I guess, quote unquote. A lot of people may not eat turkey. That's neither here nor there. But nevertheless, the holiday is here. Of course, thankful for everyone in my life, my family, and stuff like that. As a Bears fan, I am thankful for Justin Fields. We actually got a franchise quarterback here. For those that, not a Bears fan or more so haven't been in this situation, it's like the Bears been around for, a century? Never had a true, legitimate franchise quarterback of this caliber. Like, let that sink in. Like, our good old rivals up north, they've had 2 Hall of Fame franchise quarterbacks back to back. And we've, never had one. So yeah, definitely thankful for that. Definitely thankful that, the Bulls have better management in the last couple of years since the Last Dance documentary dropped. Definitely thankful for that. Thankful that the White Sox are not bottom feeders in the division and has the talent to compete instead of, I guess being as bad as the Northside team. I'll leave it at that. So yeah, definitely thankful, from a sports perspective. So there we go. So as you know, on Thanksgiving, we have football. Football and Thanksgiving goes hand in hand. That's generally what's it about. And so before we even get into the 3 games today, I just want to go over a couple of other, headlines, news, things that's, worthy to mention here. So not sure if you all know, but back on October 29th, the Michigan Wolverines football team and Michigan State Spartans, their rivals or whatnot. But back on that day, a Michigan player by the name of Jimin Green, he was assaulted by, it looks like 7 Michigan State players in the tunnel, to the point to where he was basically getting kicked and stumped and hit while he was on the ground. Like they legitimately jumped the guy. So now 7 of those Michigan players are charged. One of them has a felony charge. And, I don't care how much of a rival you are to someone, especially as far as school spirit is concerned, like, it should never get to a point where you're stumping somebody out on the ground. Never. So yeah, I'm glad, this is happening. There's no excuse for it. Yeah, these players are already suspended, but luckily, for them, it could be a lot worse. It could be. So I'm just glad something is being done. Like I said, there's no room for this. This is not like the 1980s NBA where we're fighting every 3 seconds, or sucker punching somebody or clotheslining somebody, and then it's just a whole scuffle. Like no, not, especially not in a school setting. Like, no. This is not where they at. So yeah, I guess the main guy that's being charged, his name is Kerry Crump. He's being charged with felonious assault, because there's a video for all this, and then there's 6 other guys. I'm not gonna get into all that, but the main guy, he's the only one with a felony assault charge here. So yeah, at this point, I just hope everything gets resolved with proper discipline, and I guess keep it moving there. World Cup. I know I mentioned it last time I was on here, But there's been some interesting results since. So still in group play. I think countries are still playing their first games here. But the two upsets to note. So a little bit after, I got off on Tuesday, Saudi Arabia beat Argentina. That upset is so big that the following day, they declared it a national holiday for Saudi Arabia. They ended up beating Argentina 2-1. Argentina was up 1-0. Messi scored, and then I guess the rest is history. Saudi came back and took care of business. So I guess that loss it's like Mike Tyson losing to Buster Douglas. If you get that reference. That's the type of impact that it felt. And then the other game, I think happened yesterday. Japan beating Germany 2-1. Yeah, that and Germany is one of those teams that's naturally a powerhouse. Losing to Japan, that's tough. That is tough. So World Cup, anything can happen. Any given game. I love the format. I love the atmosphere. So yeah, I'm excited. United States play tomorrow against England. So England is on top of our group here. We're tied points-wise with Wales. Wales have Iran the same day. So I expect Wales to wax Iran. And in order for us to have a chance, we need to tie or beat England. If we beat England, we're in the driver's seat. If we tie, we still got a chance. If we lose, it's pretty much a wrap. That's where we're at. So yeah, I guess, we'll see what happens here shortly. All right, moving along. All right, let's actually get into the 3 games for today as far as the NFL. First game, we have the Bills at Detroit. Lions playing at 11:30 Central Time today. Bills are 7-3. Lions are 4-6. Coincidentally enough, this will be the second straight week the Bills has played in Detroit. They played in Detroit last week because of that monstrous snowstorm that hit Buffalo. So they moved the game to Detroit. So now they're back in it. So at this point, I guess they're kind of familiar with the stadium. Yeah, Bills are super favorites in this game. I don't expect the Lions to win this game whatsoever. But I can't say the Lions, 3-game winning streak. They can score points. And I do give them a puncher's chance. The Bills haven't played the best. The Bills are their own worst enemies when they end up losing games. So if Josh Allen is in the mood of, being addicted to red zone turnovers again, then Detroit might have a chance. He just might. So, injuries concerned. Bills still missing a bunch of their defenders there. Same can be said about the Lions as well. Bills average 28 a game. Lions average 25 points a game. Bills average 17.5 points allowed. Problem is the Lions average 28 points allowed. So, that goes hand in hand. Bills generate 427 yards of offense, including almost 300 in the air and 134 on the ground. Lions is 377, which isn't bad, but compared to the Bills, it's kind of rough. And I said the Bills average, 427 yards of offense. The Lions average 227 yards allowed on defense. So apparently the points and the yardage are pretty much identical from what the Bills produce and what the Lions give up. So take that how you want to. So yeah, Josh Allen is, arguably a top 5, top 3 quarterback in this league. I mean, he also happens to be the Bills' leading rusher this season as well. Stephon Diggs has been playing like a monster. But I said the Lions offense can keep up. Jared Goff has actually been pretty decent so far. Jamal Williams, the leading rusher for the Lions here. I mean, he has 12 touchdowns on the season already, which is insane. DeAndre Swift hasn't, been the most healthiest so far, but I think he's more close to being healthy than now than at any point this year. So he's a clear X factor for that offense. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown has been solid. I know they got rid of T.J. Hockenson, but nevertheless, Raymond and Reynolds, they stepped up. I mean, Lions, if they buying into this Dan Campbell grit philosophy here, which it seems like they have, I mean, the game can be interesting. I expect the Bills to win. I feel like the Bills is a top 5 NFL team right now. They have a chance to win it all. They just got to stop beating themselves. The Lions, if they take the Lions lightly, the Lions have a puncher's chance to upset them. I'll leave it at that. All right, game 2, which is probably maybe end up being the best game of the day. We have a division rival. We have the New York Football Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. Both teams are 7-3. Both teams are primed to make the playoffs. Dallas Cowboys looks like are a heavy favorite in this matchup. Looks like they're a 10-point favorite, which is insane. That lets me know that Vegas is not buying the Giants' record of 7-3. They think they're pretenders. I don't know, though. So Daniel Jones, he actually, coming into the season was getting criticized and wasn't sure if he's going to be the franchise quarterback. And rightfully so. I mean, those questions was warranted. He earned those questions. He didn't play like a first-round pick that they took in the draft. Now, should he have been a first-round pick? That's a question for another day. However, I mean, if you draft somebody in the first round, you expect them to be very productive for your franchise for years to come. Daniel Jones has yet to be that. But this year, he's been a little different. Now, he only has 9 passing touchdowns and 4 picks on the year. But his decision-making has gotten better. His rushing, his efficiency in the running game has made the team better. Him and Saquon Barkley has been complementing each other in the running game. Now, the pass catchers are lacking, yes. But he's basically making the most of what he's been dealt. And that part, I'm pretty sure that's appreciated by a lot of Giants fans, and including the coach, Brian Dable, on that one. Giants defense has been solid. So there wasn't not too many moving parts from last year. This year, just more so foundation is set. Culture is different. They're fundamentally sound. Now, the Cowboys, on the other hand here, it feels like they're loaded. Even after giving away Amari Cooper for a bag of Skittles in the offseason. Dak Prescott, he's back. He's healthy. Tony Pollard has been sensational for the Cowboys. I've always said Tony Pollard looks like the better running back, especially in the last 2 years. I have a hashtag called Free Tony Pollard. Yes, Zeke, maybe they might be a perfect complement for each other. But I know what my eyes are telling me, and they're telling me that Tony Pollard is definitely the better back, the most explosive back. The one that can take the top off the defense type running back right now. CeeDee Lamb has been excellent overall. It was a rough start, but after that, got it together. With Michael Gallup coming back, Dalton Schultz back healthy, that offense is competent. And the defense has been elite. Because Michael Parsons has been that guy. It made DeMarcus Lawrence relevant again. Trayvon Diggs has actually played better coverage this year than he has last year. He may not have the picks, but the coverage has been better, especially in the last 2 games. Vandalesh, he not bad either. So, the Cowboys, America's team, quote unquote, the quote unquote accident waiting to happen, according to Stephen A. Smith. This is probably the best version of the Cowboys team that we've seen in a long time. So it's up to the Cowboys to actually take advantage of what they have this year. So yeah, I do expect the Cowboys to win today. Covering 10 points is definitely possible. But if they don't cover, that'd be more so based on how fundamentally sound the New York Giants are. That's my take on that one. And then we have the night game. The 6-4 New England Patriots travels to Minnesota to play the 8-2 Minnesota Vikings. Now, 2 weeks ago, Kirko Chains was a thing. He was out there balling, doing his thing. And then, last week, the Cowboys punched him in the mouth. And I don't know if Kirko Chains is officially retired or not, but that loss, I think it was more so a perfect storm. Think about it. Cowboys prior to, they end up, blowing a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter to the Packers, and they're losing overtime. And then the Vikings came off a high of beating the Bills in that sensational game, and thought that they can do whatever they did to the Bills to the Cowboys, and had a rude awakening. So here we are. Vikings hosting the game. They are a 2.5-point favorite, which I think that's kind of low. Usually standard is the home team gets a 3-point edge. The fact that it's 2.5, Vegas is saying that either the Vikings are frauds or New England's a little better than we think they are. So, Mac Jones has not been the greatest quarterback this year, but he has a good running game to rely on between Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris there. Jacoby Myers has always been the safe option at pass catcher. You got Devontae Parker, who's questionable for the game. You got Nelson Aguilar. You got your tight ends, Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. So, as long as they play New England style football, they could probably stay in this game. Their defense has actually been excellent for the most part. And as far as the Vikings, Kirk Cousins has, I call him empty calories for so many years. And, maybe he has a few calories this year. He's played a little bit better. But the reason why I call him empty calories is because I had a coworker once told me, Kirk Cousins is good enough just to lose you a game. As in, he'll put in all these stats, and they'll lose, and those stats become meaningless. So that's why I call him empty calories. Dalvin Cook, Dalvin Cook's been okay. He's definitely not the running back that we used to seeing when he first got in the league, but he still has some acceleration left in that tank. And then Justin Jefferson, who's probably on pace for being Offensive Player of the Year because he's just tearing it up. Justin Jefferson is a man amongst boys out there for sure. Now, New England averaged about 21 a game. Vikings averaged about 23. Problem is, New England only allows 17 a game. And the Vikings allow about 23 a game. So, that lets me know that for the Vikings to be 8-2, they have won close games. And the ones they lost, they got beat down, which happened last week. And when they played the Eagles back in September, those two losses, they were not close, so that makes sense. So yeah, nevertheless, I think the Vikings do take care of business, but if they underestimate this New England Patriots team, New England will win this game. So I do get that as Minnesota. They have to handle business. If they don't, New England will win this game. I'll leave it at that. So yeah, all in all, definitely want to wish a happy Thanksgiving once again to everyone out there. Catch your boy right here on the No Offense Radio and the No Offense Network. Saturday, I'm on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast with my bros Brandon and Ian as we break down this past week in the sports world and also, get back to our roots with Chicago-based sports as well. Sunday, Destination Fantasy Podcast, Week 12. Can't believe it's Week 12 in the NFL season already. But that means we got 3 more weeks into the fantasy football playoffs, and that's when things get real. But nevertheless, you all have a good one. Enjoy your holiday. I'll get back with you soon. But until then, peace.